Hi, I'm Amanda and I'm feeling really good, and here's how it happened. Originally, I was trying to film making a Hugo Spritz for another video that I had done, but I automatically reached for the Aperol because it is summertime and Aperol Spritzes are my favorite drink. This one is, like everything else, not properly made. The actual recipe, 3 ounces of Aperol, 2 ounces of Prosecco. Because I still weirdly don't have any Prosecco, used Prosecco, which is a sparkling wine, and an ounce of tonic water. All of these I measured from the heart instead of with a jigger because I filmed at 11:30 in the morning on a work day. And so I just I didn't measure. And then normally it's garnished with an orange slice, and I don't have time or energy or oranges for garnishes. So what we have here is my version of an Aperol Spritz. And now I want to play with some makeup. So this look is very Aperol adjacent, and I kind of stumbled upon it yesterday. First, because it is summer, I didn't want to apply any foundation. I just wanted to apply a tinted sunscreen. So I'm just going to take some of this sunscreen that I love. It's very dark, and it looks like I have just spent like 3 weeks on a beach. And it just kind of evens out my skin tone and gives me like this nice juicy glow. So my face only looks red because I just, like squished my face. But I'm going to slap that on, and I'm going to take a little bit more down the neck just so everything kind of looks the same. And I'm going to try and not get it on this shirt that I think makes me look like a French sailor, and my roommate thinks I look like I'm going to prison. I don't know. What do you think I look like? It's just all over and a nice kind of even sheen. And so after that, we're going to go ahead and take some color corrector. I didn't want to put on any foundation just because, again, I didn't want very many base products, and I felt like those would be just a little much. So I'm taking some color corrector under my eyes because I look like I haven't slept, and I actually had a really hard time sleeping last night. I kept waking up and my entire body hurt. And I happened to end up on the other side of the bed, which is strange. Like, I normally just sleep on one side. It's always closest to the door, so it doesn't matter where I am. I could sleep on the left side, I could sleep on the right side as long as it was close to the door. I guess it's like an escape thing, or like meeting danger thing. That's it. We're going to reframe it. I'm not escaping from something, I'm meeting something. So I'm just going to put that color corrector all over, just brighten up and correct the color underneath my eyes. What happens next? So right now I'm in the middle of a like no buy, no spend kind of thing, and it ended. And I put that policy into place maybe 2 weeks ago, and then I went ahead and accidentally on purpose added a blush into my Target and didn't remove this one. And here we are with a blush that I bought outside of my no spend. And so we're just going to take this cream blush and stipple it all over our cheeks. And it looks very orange, but maybe I want to look like an Aperol Spritz. And across the bridge of the nose, I want to look like I am both like super bronzed and also that I spent maybe a little too much time in the sun. So from there, we're going to go ahead and take this really gorgeous lighter orange powder blush on top. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that over. We're going for like creamsicle orange. What am I giving? Now it's more like strawberry popsicle, but I'm trying to do a little bit more orange to go with the Aperol. And then I'm just going to take a blender brush and dip it into the blush and sweep that all over the corner of the eye. I wonder if I look a little sick. I think it looks really soft. And I'm going more on what's in the mirror as opposed to what's in the camera, because this seems a little bit more real, and I haven't figured out how to make this well yet. We're still in development. I'm gonna pinch that blender brush and just run that along the lower lash line. Am I looking like a like a cantaloupe yet. It wouldn't be such a bad thing to go through life looking like a piece of fruit. I am a snack, so. Before I forget it, I'm gonna go in with some bronzer to warm up the complexion even more. Normally I would go like over top, like on top of the cheeks. I think I'm just gonna go in the side almost like a contour because I didn't contour today. And on the forehead and along the jawline, just chisel it out a little bit more. Even though it's really thick, I'm just gonna take some of that and run it down the edge of my nose and under my chin. Under my lip. How do I not get that right? I'm just gonna go in with this darker red, sort of rusty color. I'm gonna run that along the bottom of my lid, kind of as an eyeliner, but like a very, very light one. Just kidding, it's kind of dark. Wow. I'll go in later and like blend it so it doesn't look as harsh. This other color in here that's a bit more of an orangey brown that would have probably worked really well with this, but this is the color that I used when I did my makeup yesterday. And I like the way that that turned out. And run just the excess along the lower lash line as well. And I do want to blend that out a little bit. So I'm just going to go in with another blender brush and I'd say it's cleaner, but it's really not. And just kind of blend that all together. I think that's one of the reasons why I like makeup is you could do the same thing over and over again, but like yoga or cooking, a lot of variables go in to kind of changing the outcome. I don't approach makeup like it's a science experiment and I need to create the same thing over and over again. There's just a lot more freedom in just slapping stuff on your face and seeing what works. So now that we've done that, I'm going to take, this is a very orangey color and it's just really effervescent and, you know, it reminds me of a second or third Aperol. And I'm just going to put that right on the lids and it just gives it this really pretty orange shimmer. I don't know if I told this story about like how I had my first Aperol, but I lived in Paris for 6 months and my friend came to visit that I had known from Italy, and he spent like 3 days with me and then he was on his way to Italy to visit his dad, and he was sending me pictures of the food that he was eating and I was just like, you're an asshole because I want all of this. He sent me pictures of steak and gelato and graffa, which is just the world's best donut. And so I was like, okay, well, let me see how much it costs for me to go to Italy from Paris and spend a couple of days there. And like the flight and my Airbnb cost less than my night cream. So I went because I was like, I could go to Italy. I was so close to Italy. I could go for a day and a half and just eat the best pasta on the planet. However, like I made a lot of really rushed decisions. And one of them was to decide where to eat when I was absolutely starving at 5 p.m. on a Tuesday when things are closed, people aren't doing anything. And I was just absolutely ravenous. And I found this place and I should have known by all the reviews, but there were a lot of really positive English reviews on this specific restaurant. So I went and I had the worst meal of my life. And I lived in Italy for 3.5 years when I was in high school and I never had a bad food experience. I think that this restaurant was making up for those 3.5 years of really good eating. Like they put iceberg lettuce in a caprese salad. They put, what? Why? Like their tomato sauce for their spaghetti was super watery. And I'm like, you have tomatoes that were grown in the soil of Vesuvius. Do you know how excellent those are? San Marzano, world-renowned tomatoes, right down the road. Tasted like they had been in a can that had been sitting on a shelf for like 14 years. It was awful. The wine tasted like vinegar. It was just the worst experience that I've ever had. I was walking back to my Airbnb from this restaurant and I came upon this bar and I was like, well, you know, I've had a really bad meal, might as well try and have a good drink. So I went into this bar that apparently turned out to be an art club. But I walked in and I sat at the bar and I was the only woman. I was talking with the bartender and he was like, what do you have? And I was like, oh, I've never had a Spritz, so I'll have an Aperol Spritz. And we made one and I just was instantly in love. And then all the old Italian guys heard that I was English, or well, that I was American, that I was speaking English. And so they wanted to ask me about Donald Trump and I was like, oh, I didn't vote for him. And then they went back to talking about work. I understand a little Italian, and I could understand that they were like just bitching about their jobs. From then on, all I was drinking was Aperol Spritz. I love gin and tonics, but this has definitely become my favorite drink, and it's one that I have especially during the summer just because it's so refreshing. And I had this drink while touring around France during the summer, and so it was like every meal would kind of be the same. France has a really rich and diverse palette, and their food is amazing, but I would always order Aperol Spritzes and steak frites. We're not finished with the eyes. I actually want to use this kind of creamy metallic color, and I'm just going to use that in the inner corner of my eyeballs just to brighten it up a little bit. And we're almost finished. This is actually a really quick look. I don't have anything on the spoolie. I'm just going to brush my eyebrow hairs up. Now that I'm looking, maybe I do need to powder. Nah, whatever. There's something healthy looking about a little bit of sheen. And my eyebrows are being really, really weird still. So I'm just gonna, you imagine if I put this in my eyebrows instead of this, which is an eyebrow pomade. So I'm just gonna go ahead and try and make these into something. And also, I love spritzes. I am sadly allergic to them. At least I've had reactions to them when I've been in the States. I never had a reaction when I was in Paris, which is why I was drinking them all the time. And then I come to the States and suddenly my throat is itchy. And one of my favorite supervisors, she's always sending me pictures of spritz, and she's like, I hope I don't die, because she knows that I'm allergic to it, and she likes to chastise me about it. Which is fine, and I love her for it, so it's okay. How is it? How is it looking? It's starting to look very monochromatic, which is kind of what I want. I'm just going to take another blender brush, and I want to soften it a little bit to soften. I'm going to take a little lip pencil and outline my lips before I put color on. I'm actually going to take this, it's another blush, but it's this beautiful orange color to keep with the monochromatic look, and I'm just going to blot that onto my lips. Kind of like nuded it out. It's very, very soft. Maybe I need like a coral. Coral might be a little too pink for this look, but because it is very orange. I want to look like an Aperol bottle. And then I'm going to take this lip oil, which is kind of more like a neon pink, but I feel like it just, excuse me. No, that's chicken wings.
Is everything okay?
Yes. Make it look a little more wet. And that made it so much more orange. Like that blush was very soft, which is weird because like I think I just put so little on that it looked very soft, but normally when I put it on my cheeks it's a very bright orange, which is what I love. I have a lot of orange blushes. In case you couldn't tell, orange blush is one of my favorites. And now I'm just going to set this before I put on my mascara. Gonna let that dry. I just put on my lip gloss, but I want another sip. I should start investing in straws. And then we're gonna go ahead and curl our eyelashes. I have no idea where I would wear this look to. I mean, I did wear it to work, but I could also just imagine being in a really long white flowy dress in like Ibiza or something. And if my coworker Edson ever watches this, she's gonna give me so much shit for saying Ibiza and not Ibiza. So we're going to go ahead and put on some mascara, just lengthen that out but make it really soft. And I'm also actually going to put it on the bottom lashes to give those a little definition as well. What do we think? Do I match? Do I match my drink? So this is the finished look, an Aperol Spritz inspired look. My ice is cheering me? My ice is cheering me. This is the finished look. My very Aperol inspired orangey monochromatic face to go with my very because I've drank quite a bit and sloshed it around my monochromatic orange Aperol Spritz drink. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below if it's working for me, if it's gonna work for you. And if you don't like this, go ahead and send it to your ex-boyfriend, your ex-girlfriend, your ex-other. Send it to them and just be like, this is how you make me feel enraged. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.